Hey, what's up guys? It feels a bit weird talking to a camera without having the Twitch chat there, but I am making a video today. I've been a little bit burnt out from streaming lately, so I thought maybe I will try to create some videos and to start experimenting with new content. So my idea for a series and what kind of content that I might like to make, and that I think will be more, I think it'll be unique and hopefully provide value to someone. So I had the idea of just doing session reviews, I think I'll call them, where I just go over my session, review each game just in clips so it's not too long, just look at certain moments from each game and just talk about the general flow of the game and kind of the macro elements of how the game played out, and then go over maybe some more fine micro details of the game, like mechanics and whatnot, and just talk about the gameplay and whatever comes to mind, really. So maybe some people will find value in that, because I know that I'd probably enjoy watching content like this, and I think there is a little bit of a lack of kind of high-level gameplay and explanation out there for Watt in the past few years. Ever since Watt Labs forum has kind of gone dormant, and I think that was kind of a really good place for all the, the top players and the Unicums to kind of, help teach new players, but that's kind of gone dormant. And nowadays we have more content creators and more YouTubers, more streamers these days in Watt, but really I find, like, a lot of the content is catering more to the very beginner players and players that have just plateaued. So I would like to try to bring value and make some more unique content that caters to the Unicums, to people that are trying to get better, and just show some of my best gameplay and see if I can help anyone through that, because I think that's kind of the content that I would like to watch. So I'm gonna try and see if I can create something. So this is just an idea. It might be terrible, but yeah, I think we might as well just get into it. So I'm going to be talking about the T-55A session that I had today. This is just a tank that I just felt like playing. So this is my setup that I have in it. I have all purple equipment, and I have 6.5 crew skills, and we're going to be starting to look at some of these games I had today. And the session was just under 5k average damage, which is pretty good for me, and it was over 13 battles, and we have a 69% win rate. So yeah, let's just get right into the first games. Alright, so here's the first game we're going to be looking at. But before I start talking about the game, I wanted to say at the beginning of the video that I am currently offering coaching / private lessons, whatever you want to call it, through Discord. So if you want some help at whatever aspect of the game, I'm currently doing that. So if you're interested, please join my Discord and send me a private message. Yeah, so anyway, this game, we are here on Paris. This is my first game of the session. I have not warmed up yet. So we can see this is just the decision I make right now is to commit here, and this turns out to be a mistake, and this game does not work out well at all for me. So I commit underneath this bridge here because I feel like my whole team's following me this way. I want to be aggressive and I want to push the pace. But unfortunately, this T10 meets me here and I end up having to trade with him. There's no way of me avoiding that based on the path that I took. So now when I'm in this position, I am completely committed here, because if I want to leave this position, right, I have to go back up here, which exposes me to the T10, whatever else is there, and potentially whatever else is above me here. And this stuff is pressuring me, so I can't come out of this road. So I'm completely stuck here, and this turns out to be a problem in this game. So I'm just going to speed through, because I mean, as I said, I'm trying to show off games from my entire session today, whether they're good or not. So we're just going to speed through, and I'm just kind of poking here because I'm trapped. I'm trying to get what damage I can, but I'm kind of stuck here. And if we skip ahead, as you see, the game, my team, even though my entire team came to this position, they're not winning it. They're just sitting there doing nothing. So I really feel like I need to push the pace. And this is kind of my philosophy of playing, right? Is that if we have not won any space on the map, we need to create space in order to survive, so that the game doesn't just snowball into a complete wipeout. So I'm just doing my best that I can to, try and make this game as long as possible. And I see that these guys are going to start pushing me, so I need to just stop that from happening the best I can. But you can see that it's 3-10. My team is completely wiped out, and now I'm getting set on fire from the back. I have nowhere to go, and I'm dead. And that was that first game there, so it was pretty bad. Overall, not a whole lot I could have done with the way I played. I think in retrospect, I should not make this play probably really ever, at least in this matchmaking. I think I would have been better off side scraping off of this building, one of these buildings back here, and not committing, because if I had played here and not committed, I could have been alive right now, and I would have been able to, you know, maybe scrape by with 1,000, 2,000 more damage. Instead, I just got this and 2k. So let's move on to the next game. Alright, here we are with game number 2 of my session, and I will just say this right away. This game is also going to be completely shit for me and terrible. So I was pretty tilted after these first 2 games of the session, but you'll see later on I completely recovered the session, and I'm playing these first 2 terrible games just to, it's still a learning example. You can still figure out things from what I've done wrong here. So in this case, we're on Serene Coast, and my whole team's going 1-2 line. However, I still feel safe committing to this play because it's easier to fall back from this position than it is from the other side. So on this map, I do not like playing on the 1-2 line when there's arty. So this is why my decision is to play on this rock and try to farm all the heavies that are going to be underneath me with some form of arty cover. And if I want to fall back, it's kind of easier to do that here. So anyway, here we go. And these guys they've kind of already beat me here, and it's really awkward because I don't really have any gun depression to work with. So I'm just trying to maybe find a poke onto the Progetto the moment, and not really seeing anything, but we get a nice shot into him. I can see my team isn't really coming here, so I actually make I guess I fall back here, and I'm waiting. This IS-7 and E-50 is coming up, but there's a ton of tank destroyers behind us, so I'm just sort of hoping that these guys will overcommit and allow us to, you know, kill them with all the TD stuff, but they did not. So I rushed in there to try, you know, get damage, because I can't just sit and wait. You know, I really always try to play with my gun being active, and we hit a shot at the Tortoise Cupola. I can't pen this. That's pretty much impossible. Like, that's a 1 out of 10 shot, I think, maybe less. So now the problem is the fact that I've committed here, and there was more tanks coming than I expected. It means I'm a bit stuck, because now if I want to leave, I have to, like, cross this, and that means the E3, and maybe these guys can poke and shoot me. So I kind of got committed here, and this turns out to be kind of the fatal flaw for this game for me. So we'll go ahead and speed it up and just look at how the game flow overall goes. I'm just trying to, you know, make some safe pokes. I'm looking around. You notice that I'm constantly in third person, and I only go into first person mode as I need to fire. So we're just looking at all the possibilities, and this guy, I need to just track him and stop him, because I didn't really have, like, the easiest pen, and even if I do pen him, he's gonna hit me for 750. So I'm just trying to stop him. I can see that I'm completely screwed right now. And in a moment here, I'm probably going to make, you know, the only really good play that I do this game. I see an opportunity. So the opportunity right now is I've done no damage. You know, I've done 1,000, which is terrible for me, right? So there's these guys. I'm completely alone with this guy who's a one-shot. So I'm completely screwed right now if I stay here. So the opportunity I see is right now the E3 is reloading. This guy's stuck behind the wreck. It's to leave. Unfortunately, I get hit by arty, but I managed to escape here, and I think this is really important, because if I was staying there, I would get no more damage, but now that I've left, I can possibly get a little bit more damage to make the game hurt a little bit less. But as you can see, it's 1-7, and arty is just taken away 800 of my hit points. I'm stunned. My commander's dead. I have no medkit anymore. So it's just pretty unlucky, and it is unlucky that we didn't really send much to this side, and we lost the other side of the map. So really, honestly, not a whole lot I could have done here, because you can't predict how these things are going to play out. So I couldn't really have seen this coming. And I mean, of course, it would be better for me right now to be sniping on the red line. But, you know, 9 times out of 10, if I'm sniping on the red line, you know, I'm not going to get any damage in that game. So that's why usually my initial play is going to be aggressive, then I'm going to work from there. And this last poke, when I died, I was, like, distracted with, like, some notification on my phone or something, and I just drove out and died. So that was stupid, and I was really tilted after these first 2 games. But we'll go on and we'll see that I end up recovering the session, so it gets way better from here. Okay, so this is game number 3 where things turn around for me, and it's on Ruinberg. And in the last update there were some map changes to Ruinberg with the north part of the city being made stronger, so I really did not feel comfortable playing the city anymore because I felt like G1 is probably not as powerful. So I thought, you know, looking at the matchmaking, it's really favorable for me, so I thought I would actually just commit in here and get into the cubby. But when all these tanks get spotted, I right here decide that I am just going to die doing that and take tons of damage. So I stop and I just start playing hull down here, and at this point in the game I thought it was going to be a terrible game because these guys are above me. I'm kind of trapped, they're above me, I'm not doing any damage from here, and yeah, it's not looking good. And I was pretty tilted from the first 2 games, but you'll see, I'm able to kind of save this game and get kind of lucky because it was just, this game just kind of worked out perfectly in my favor. So right now I know that it's a really bad situation and I am trapped, but I see a moment there where the Patton had pulled back, and I saw that as a moment to escape and get out of there, and luckily I did get out of there. This 53 is still stuck here, and now I can use this kind of hull down position to just farm him. I'm really not too concerned about TDs in the back being pre-aimed at me, so we make a poke and we lead that with heat, and so we've done a little bit of damage now, and now the game is looking like I can, it's recovered in my opinion because I've escaped that position, and now I can do whatever I want. So luckily this guy's getting spotted. I'm going to be farming this. We'll just speed it up because so that this video is not an hour long, and I'll try and go over as much as I can. So just farming from here, and you can see this is another kind of decision-making moment. As soon as the shots have dried up, I know that guy was backing off and there's no more shots, I rotate immediately. I don't hesitate. I go to where the damage is, and I see that the damage is going to be up here and pushing this flank because we've got a lot of guys here and they don't have as much. So zooming in right here, taking a shot on the move of this guy, and I want to get on their flanks above them where I'm safe from the TDs and where I can start shooting them. So we take a shot on that guy, a little bit delayed on the reaction times there. I could have done that half a second faster, I think. But now we're here, it's going to be a little bit slowed down. So now this is where I have another decision on my next rotation, right? This guy is not giving me any easy shots, so I can't waste my time with it. And it would also be a waste of time to push up onto the A line. That would take way too long, so I start driving towards where the damage is, and the damage is just straight into the city, and the fastest way to get there is just pushing down the mid road. So that's my overall plan, but right now I have to just proceed with caution, and I've got some shots right now, and I'm getting really lucky here with RNG. We're just aiming at a guy. I hit 4 out of 4 there, so... And now everything's cleaned up in field, and I just want to start going fast towards where the damage is. Easy free damage on that guy, and I decide here, this is another decision that you have to make, right? You see a guy that has like a little bit of HP and a ton of HP in here, so this might have been a mistake because killing this guy, while I might get some damage, it's such a time investment. So I knew it was a decision at the time, but I still went for it because I thought my team would not be that fast killing the city. So we only ended up getting 1 shot there, but it's okay. Now I'm just going as fast as possible. I have HP to work with here, and we can push in that guy. Luckily, just get a fire, and I just want to go fast. I see they're all in this one square. The Scorpion had moved, but that's fine. We can kind of just out-poke him, and if I take some damage, it doesn't really matter. Now, this T-28 is putting me in a crossfire, so I have to stop fighting the Scorpion, and I have to re-engage this guy. So this guy, I'm just timing his reloads. I'm comfortable taking that hit. That's completely fine with me, but I realize it did make me a one-shot for the Scorpion possibly, so I just ignore him, and I go towards this guy who has the remaining HP, and he's not going to be able to fight me off. He has no support, and I can also take 1 hit if I need to from him. So I just get up in his face, aim down on his upper plate, and get the remaining damage of this game. So fortunately low roll there, but yeah, so that was 8,500 damage, which it was completely lucky here because I made a pretty stupid play in the beginning of this game, but it just kind of worked out. And I mean, you can never, that's the thing about this game, right? You always just have to play reactively. So after I made the mistake in the beginning, I saved myself by reacting well to the situation and then just chasing damage here. This is Mannerheim line, and the matchmaking, again, it's looking really nice for me. So what I like to do here is I like to come down and play in the water, but however, since my entire team is coming this way and I can just see that clearly, I commit. I don't do this unless my whole team's coming here, And you know, I want to be the first one shooting. There's no arty. I can just be as aggressive as I want here, and I'm just cautiously looking at all angles, you know, figuring out if the E1's going to shoot me, and I'm just making these, you know, slight pokes, and I'm seeing where the farm is. I can see the E1 is not looking, so we're going to push and get rid of him, and just try and shoot every time I reload, and just play fast, and just take advantage of this situation that I'm given. So here's another little bit of a decision that I make, and I decide that I'm missing out on damage if I go low. So I kind of risk it, and I'm trying to play in these little bumps in the terrain, try and be kind of safe, but you know, I just want to push the pace and get damage, because if I had gone on the low road, I would have missed those 3 shots that I just had. And now there's nothing there, so I can go in the low road and start trying to push this side. The first thing to work on is just going to be the low. When you're in a crossfire like this, I can just hug the right. I'm not getting shot by... the crossfire is not affecting me if I'm playing like this. Nice shot underneath the wreck there, into that low. And, you know, just making sure that I'm brawling. I'm going in and out of sniper mode to see all the angles, to see when I have a shot so I don't overexpose, and then to zoom out to see what's going on around me. And I can see the push is coming. I know that this guy's going to poke again, so I wanted to keep pre-aiming on him. And then I shot a little too early there and bounced him. But I can see that he still wants to poke, so we get rid of him. And now there's no crossfire. And I can see we're going to push, so I just want to be the first one going here. I'm okay with trading some HP, but I'm still being somewhat cautious. Push past this guy, and now really this game is just driving to where the damage is. This guy's the obvious choice of damage, but here I have to make a decision whether to continue north or to push this guy. And I decide that I'm going to take this guy out. There's 1,000 damage, and then I can just jump off the edge of this this gap and then go to wherever I need to from there. So I just drive up here, look for a shot. There's no shot. I fall off here, make sure not to crash, and then I just drive towards where the HP is. Nothing really left here. You can see this game is not close. That guy just died instantly, so the only thing left is the Utes, and I'm just going to try and get close to him. I try to make a wide angle because I thought if I pushed under him, that would limit my amount of shots. And there we go. So another game. We go 6K right after doing the 8500. So the session's starting to look a little bit better at this point. Okay, so now we're on Fish Bay. Really bad map, really hard map to play. Matchmaking is it's okay, just one arty. So from this side, I'm gonna just play the mid and just kind of react from there. I think this map is not really a map where you're going to get a lot of early damage. This is a map where you just have to try and slowly play it and feel it out and react to whatever's going to happen. It's just not a map that you can do some kind of aggressive early play on that's going to work well. So I'm looking for shots. I see the TVP as a potential opportunity, and since I didn't get spotted coming up here, I'm just going to play in this bush beside this guy and look for whatever shots that we can find here. I see there's a conk, and unlucky, I had AP loaded, and you can see that later on in my session, my loadout is going to become almost entirely heat, and I'm just going to get rid of all but 3, I think, AP rounds, or something crazy, just because when you're having those massive farm games, and you're fighting heavies all the time, you can just run out of heat, and if you run out of heat, you're screwed, but if you run out of AP, it doesn't matter. So this is actually where I made a decision, right? So I saw that there's no damage in mid, no damage 1-2, and that my team is pushing city, so I'm going to take advantage of my team pushing city. And, you know, it basically means that the enemies are all distracted fighting a whole bunch of guys, and that I can maybe get in there and come and find some damage. Yeah, so basically using my team, I want to say using my team as meat shields, but I mean, you know, there's a whole bunch of guys. It's a complete distraction for the enemy, and you can just play around it and find the damage and, you know, avoid taking damage. That's basically the whole goal here. So I see these guys are poking, just kind of, you know, trying to be cautious of when I'm getting spotted. Now that I know I'm spotted, I don't want to play that angle anymore. So I'm gonna work myself in here, and I can still see that my team might die here, but I commit onto this conk because I thought, you know, I'll get rid of him, and then maybe I can run away after I kill him, and he's gone. And now it's me and this 279, so I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm comfortable outplaying a situation with a 2v1 right now, but this pattern comes out of nowhere, and that really changes things. So immediately I just need to run, because there's no way I'm going to trade out with this guy and just die for it. So luckily I get 2 in. and then he gets distracted fighting this 279E, and I can see that I've got a new guy coming behind me as well. So now I was gonna completely run away, but now we're fine to push back in, and I can see that the guy, he just fired, so we're gonna push around him, get on his side. I looked for the front track, but it was just gonna take too much time to find that shot, so I just shoot him in the side, we push him, easy 1,000 damage here, and now I keep going forward. I'm really not scared of anything being in front of me. I don't expect the Sturv to be here. I expect him to be on the other side. Free shots into the mid, and now it's going to slow down a bit, so we'll skip ahead. Farming the ELC as he runs away, so decent lead there. That's why you take AP shells in a tank like this, even though the heat is way better at penning everything. The AP shells are just going to help you for shooting light tanks like that. And now I crossed to close the distance. Maybe I could have done it differently, but, you know, doing things slowly is just a time investment, and I want to try and waste as little time possible. So, you know, I felt okay trading that HP away, because I knew I wasn't going to die, probably, and that I just needed to close the distance in order to get the damage. And now I'm not spotted again. I need to close the distance to get the last little bit of damage. I'm a little worried about getting spotted from this guy, so I'm kind of waiting. I go through these bushes, and then he dies anyway, so now just get there as fast as possible for the last shot of damage, and I look for the cupola, but he kills me. Doesn't matter. Easy 6k on a pretty difficult map, so the only decision that mattered that game was not doing anything stupid in the beginning, and then seeing the opportunity to find damage when my team was pushing city, right? I could have let my team push city by themselves and stayed mid. Would have had a bad game, right? I need to find that opportunity, and there we go. Okay, so we are back on to Serene Coast. This was like one of the first maps we played in the session, I think, so I guess it was in the rotation. I don't really remember how this game goes, but you can see I'm making the same play that I did the first time when the game was, you know, completely messed up. And again, my team is not really going here very hard, but I'm still okay with it as long as it just doesn't play out like the last one did. So coming here, pre-aiming. This time it's a standard B that rushes there, not a Progetto, so, you know, a little bit of deja vu, honestly. But I'm just waiting here, the IS-4, if he commits, I'm pre-aimed, and we pen him on the upper plate, so that's okay. Just looking at all the angles, waiting for this guy. We can find a little shot there. Take that, and just watching, trying to stay safe from Artie, and trying to, you know, not give the IS-4 a shot, so I'm looking at everything, and now I see the IS-4 is exposing. We're gonna slowly peek. It's very risky there. I couldn't aim it perfectly because my gun depression was just barely making it, and I didn't want to sit there too long because he was gonna have a shot at my upper plate, so that was kind of risky. So still just kind of waiting for things to happen here. I can see there's other guys spotted on the minimap that are gonna be crossing in, but now the 60TP has pushed in front of me. So I know that I need to go fast now. Like, they're not going to push into us if we have a 60TP in front. And we're also winning this game on the other side of the map, which I can read. So I know that they're going to win the other side. So, you know, I'm going to try and get some damage here as fast as possible. And use the 60TP as kind of a meat shield. Unfortunately, I think that shot low rolled. So he was still alive. And then he was able to get damage on me, which is kind of unfortunate. Because he just like totally tunneled on me and didn't shoot the 60TP, which is a bit annoying. So now there's a decision to make here, right? I can go in front or I can go around. And I feel comfortable going around because we're winning mostly everywhere else. So I feel like all the other tanks are going to be distracted. So I think that I can just fight these guys isolated and come in behind them. So the first shot is going to be the free damage, but then unfortunately they start paying attention to me immediately. So this guy's going to turn and I'm going to try and avoid the shot. I bounce it, so it's okay. I'm trying to get a track shot. I have to work a little bit high for the gun depression here. I could probably back up and go a little bit left and make this safer. Like, I don't think I needed to take that shot. But again, I'm trying to go as fast as possible, so that's why I don't want to miss DPM. I'm trying to shoot every time I reload. And that's just annoying. It's just Artie. Like, I can't outplay Artie. And then this guy nearly kills me, so it's kind of unfortunate because now I know that, like, I mean, I can die here, and I can see that he's YOLOing me, so I don't know really how I could have done this differently. I was just hoping that someone else would shoot him. I don't really have time to kite him anywhere else, and yeah, he just ends up killing me and dying for it. So that's kind of unfortunate. Not a very good game here, but I mean, I think in retrospect, maybe I should have played a little safer. Like on this terrain, I could have maybe poked here, like maybe here, onto the T-30 to kill him without taking that shot, and then this guy may not have been able to kill me. But I still felt like I had to play really, really fast because we did win the other side, and then we were like gonna win this side as well. But it looks like we ended up losing over there anyway. So I don't know what happened, but yeah. Okay, so Empire's Border. This is a new map. Well, it might as well be because the old one is kind of different. Well, very different, and such a long time ago. So this might as well be a new map. Only played it a few times, but in those few times, I've made a couple of opinions. Right, I've made a couple of opinions, and that is that 1-2 line is terrible. That's my initial opinion, and that this is where the damage is. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to come here, and my actual plan was to turn left and commit. But since that guy was there, I didn't really want to trade out with him, although I probably could have. And maybe I should have, because now I am stuck in a little bit of a poke battle, but that's fine. It's I'm top tier here, so I should be able to kind of own these guys. That I tried to make that shot really safe, and I could see this guy was going to push me out, so I ended up missing that shot, and then that shot was kind of unlucky, but just trying to, you know, finesse this guy. I'm trying to side scrape off him so I can still have shots, and he's just kind of being in the way, but, you know, I'm just trying to work around him. And that's a big thing. You have to end up working around all these puppies that get in your way all the time. It is kind of frustrating a lot of the time. So now looking for a shot, I just get completely HE'd, and then I shoot his gun. So this is, so far I'm a little frustrated because in a situation like this, I feel like I should be doing really big damage. That was a risky poke, but I just felt like I saw no one really clearly aiming at me, and it ended up working. But yeah, now I can't really poke. I see this ELC that is just like in the middle of the open randomly, but he's not gonna push forward, so there's no damage. And now if this guy decides to push, there's damage. Free shot on the T-71. These guys want to be aggressive, which is good for me because, I mean, if they're aggressive, I feel pretty confident in like just farming them. And this guy's gonna push. Now I see it's actually getting a little bit risky. Like, the only tank I'm really scared of is this Carnarvon, and he has really good DPM and can pen me. So I got permatracked there, and now I'm like actually a one-shot. So this game went from like potentially good game to like really not in a good spot now that I lost all my HP. Pretty nice shot there onto the cupola. But now that I've fallen back here, I've gotten this engagement so much more comfortable because now I only have to expose myself if I want to, and I still feel totally fine playing completely aggressive if I know that I can just not allow them to shoot me. And so I'm pretty comfortable here, and I want to get rid of this guy because I see there's so much damage still in front of me. That was a little bit risky. Luckily it just pens his mantlet. I didn't really think that would actually pen, but it did. And now I'm just gonna side scrape on him here. Yeah, and now I'm just gonna keep chasing because I still feel like I can, you know, finesse it to where I can just avoid taking damage from these guys. And that was pretty unfortunate. Like, this HE is really annoying on I think that's like a tier 7 tank that does like 350 HE, so that's pretty annoying. I'm just gonna wait until he's not looking to go here. Yeah, so using third person, waiting till he's not looking, see the easy shot, and like I only peek as wide as I have to here. So, getting rid of that, and now that guy probably can just ignore him. He's dead. And still, I'm one-shot HP, but I still need to be playing aggressive. I just feel like, you know, even if I'm one-shot, I can still avoid taking damage most of the time. So I know this guy's not paying attention. I go for a track. I drive past him. Pretty risky play, but I can see, like, what is he going to do about me? Get rid of him, and now all the damage, just easy reading the minimap, all the red, like, it's nothing complicated. I see all the red tanks over there. I drive over there. And this is why I think like 1-2 line kind of sucks, because it's sort of this open area that you have to drive through. And now this guy's kind of free farm, and I actually load AP here because I don't even really know how to pen a super Pershing with heat. It doesn't seem to always work on the upper plate with the heat, so I end up bouncing. And now I switch back to heat, and I think I just go for, I went for like the top of the turret. It bounces. I'm kind of getting owned by a super Pershing. It's sort of embarrassing. But I think that shot hit, and then he gets out of my way. So, I mean, I don't want to like over peek here, and I can see that we still could lose this game, so I'm just being careful. I'm just peeking. I'm peeking when I see people moving, right? Like if he was standing still pre-aiming, I'm not taking that peek. But since he was like moving all over the place, I know his bloom and he's not going to be aiming at me, so that's when I take those peeks that are risky. And now I just have to lead with heat, which is a little bit annoying, but it's okay. It's more damage. I have to be a little careful because I don't know if I was actually spotted there. But I can see this game is actually looking pretty bad. So I need to find a way off of this, and it looks like I didn't want to risk falling down and crashing that way. So I'm going to try falling off of this way to just try and close the distance, because I can see that if nothing else getting spotted, I can't just wait around there doing nothing. Then I gotta fall off here without taking damage. I mean, a little risky, but I gotta get there. And then, yeah, looking to fall off here. I mean, it's annoying that Wargaming makes all these slopes kind of like a little bit RNG fests that you could die on. Those ones are not as bad as most maps, but I still wish they just made more terrain kind of like smoothed out how it used to be, instead of having these jagged, slippery rocks on all cliffs. It's annoying, but anyway, this game, it's kind of just cleanup. Everything is one shot, so either they cap out and we lose, or I can just go get some one shots. So I mean, either way, not really super good. Get rid of that guy. It looks like they're not going to be able to cap out, so I'm just still pushing, because now it looks like we will win pretty easily. This guy had no HP, unfortunately, and yeah, I don't think there's anything really left here. I'm just chasing, can't get to that guy, and then it's I think it's just chasing an ELC for a really long time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it is. This is really stupid. We just chase an ELC all over the map, and then they kill him. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty good pro river. I think all the damage is in mid. That's kind of my conclusion. Okay, so here, Sand River, Encounter, Encounter is a little bit debatable. We could talk about that as well. I think Assault is necessary to have on, but Encounter's that one, it's like, I don't know about it. It's, sometimes can have really bad games. But anyway, we're stuck with it, because I've been trying it out lately. And the matchmaking's terrible. It's a combination of Arty and tier 10s. It just makes the game a lot more difficult. So I decided to play North because it's a little safer from Arty. It's just, I'm trying it. I could have probably played in a few places that I feel comfortable, but... and I can see that this guy's going to push, so I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's just try and be aggressive and make it happen, see if I can get on top of these guys. So start farming this T-55A. I can see this huge is going to be the easy shot. Bounce that, unfortunately. Now he's hull down. Not giving me a good shot. He's just getting wrecked there, though, so I can see that he might die. But I can also see there's guys getting above us, so I'm a little bit ready. I'm ready to leave at this point. But I can see, okay, they're all coming here. This is not, we're not going to be leaving in this scenario. This is going to be where we're pushing. I just don't want to take damage from the Udes and Arty, basically, so I'm waiting until the Udes is taken care of, really, to move up. But I can see that he's backed up so much now that I can make this cross. And playing up here against all this stuff is going to be awkward, but how we can make this fight work is I can hug right here, wait for this guy to over peek or shoot, and then I can peek him. I just can't play hull down. I just have to wait for moments to peek. And I can see this Emil's coming, so I think that I'm going to try to play around the Emil. I'm going to give him the corner because he can play with gun depression, and I'm going to go wide here. And by going wide, I'm giving myself a hull down anyway, so that worked out. And now we can start playing with this guy's turret. Time his reloads. You can see when he messes up a shot and backs up, gives us the hull down. So we can just keep playing with him, and this is just farm. And now that I can see, I'm hull down anyway. And then the patent went down and allowed us to do that, which is very nice of him. So I can see I want to go fast, and that's kind of unlucky missing that. But since he was running here, I just decided to YOLO into him. I felt pretty safe, even if he wanted to trade out with me. And he's just running, and then of course Arty's gonna shoot me. But right now I'm gonna go forward. This dune that's ahead of me is gonna keep me safe from the TDs in their base. So, and then I can poke hull down on this guy and get rid of him. But he just ends up snap penning my Cupola, I think, and killed my commander, so that's a little unfortunate. And killing my commander kind of sucks here because I may want to be spotting their base, but now I have to wait over a minute to fix the commander to have any view range. But anyway, so in this scenario, all the damage is going to be coming from, you know, this stuff in mid. That's a huge farm, and all this stuff on the one line. Basically, it doesn't look like anything's really camping their base too much. So I want to try to get mid, get sniping one line, and maybe get above these guys that are in the low ground, if at all possible. So that's kind of my plan right here. And I can't really commit on these guys too easily, because I'll probably die to all this stuff sniping, just if I see an opportunity to do it. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to see if I can figure out a way to do it. And the Jagdpanzer, he's safe as well. Can't really find a shot here. So I'm looking at the stuff, and there's nothing really one line that's going to be pressuring me here. So I decide that I could potentially just get above these guys. And the Jagdpanzer and Mouse are kind of taking away all their HP, so it kind of sucks. But here I go for the Mouse shot, or the E100 shots on his turret. And I can see a T-95's coming, but nothing's really looking at me too hard except this E100 himself, so end up getting through his roof there. And now I can see the T-95 was turning, so I didn't want to take a shot from that guy. And now those guys are pretty much dead and low HP, so I see the T-95 is side on, and I know that he's going to die really quick, so I want to get in on it. I don't want my team killing him without me. And I'm just starting to drive towards it, because the E100 and the E75 are done, in my opinion, so I just leave them behind. I'm going to try and farm the rest of this guy. That was unlucky. I drove up a little bit and messed up that shot because I'm trying to go so fast and try to keep going forward, so didn't get the damage there. Get rid of that guy. I think that was worth stopping for the 192 damage. And now I really want to be able to farm this Yag all alone. So I just go straight in on him. Unfortunately, he turns for me, which is like, and him turning for me like allowed the rest of my team to kill him instantly, which kind of sucked. So we only got like 5k damage, but it's still a good game because the matchmaking was so hard. So I think it's definitely a win in difficult matchmaking to have a good game. Okay, so again with the good matchmaking, you can see it's Minsk. We have the bad spawn on Minsk, unfortunately, but yeah, I still want to try and be aggressive. So from this spawn, I don't like to play city. I mean, crossing city is kind of good, but it's like 50-50. So we're going to try and just play aggressive on the 2-3 line. I can already see that a lot of guys are coming this way with me, so that kind of means, you know, maybe push, maybe soon. But this is where I like to come pre-aim, because I'm hull down, I can control it here. I can see that guy YOLO'd, which is a little weird. And it's annoying, because he's probably going to proxy me. So I'm just waiting for the next guy to poke on this road. And we're just going to figure things out. I can see so much from my team is coming here. I'm already thinking that we're going to push on the top of the one line there. But something else got spotted there. I'm just waiting for something to happen, basically. And, oh yeah, the T-20 just ends up feeding me here, so that's why I like to look at that road, because people seem to just feed into it and I could be held down. Like, basically, as long as you're playing tighter than other people, you're kind of winning. So, you know, you just have to really expose as little as possible and just allow them to poke more. So this defender, that's a pretty crazy shot. I mean, it's a weak spot on the defender on his turret. I feel like most people don't know that. I get pretty lucky with actually hitting the weak spot here. But that's what I'm going for, is the weak spot beside his gun, and I'm pretty sure this guy would probably be pretty mad about these shots. You don't get that one, though. But yeah, these shots, like, I think it's looking more absurd watching the replay, but I'm shooting and then backing up. I'm not, like, shooting through the wall here, but it looks kind of like that. But, I mean, I am backing up very, like, as soon as I fire. It's like, it's a very tight peak, so I fire like as I move, as I start backing up, be as safe as possible. And now I can see that it's kind of getting more aggressive. This AE phase 1 is a distraction, so that's why I'm gonna push into this guy, and I end up taking a hit here, but you know, because he puts his gun up, so I'm like, oh, he's given up, but you know, that was actually kind of big brain of him. He tricked me and shot me. So now I just want to work on these guys, which, you know, shouldn't be too much of a problem. I wait until that guy fires, and then, yeah, I was lazy and went for the easier shot on the upper plate, but I should have just got the actual pen on his turret again. And now I can see I can actually play hull down on this, and even if he shoots me, I don't really care. I'm just gonna out DPM him. I get rid of the stun because I'm shooting. Like, if there's any situation where I'm shooting or gonna be shooting, I always get rid of stun. And now I just YOLO this guy because it's not worth the investment of time, I felt like, to avoid damage. Because I can see the game's going to be really fast. So now we've won this side entirely. And and the only damage is on the other side or potentially on the K line. So I know I need to go fast. This guy was going, the route he was taking is a waste of time, so I wanted to turn. And we can see the arty. This is kind of embarrassing because I'm shooting, like, I was shooting heat through the gaps and I just missed everything. That kind of sucks. T-29, do we get a shot? Yeah, I get a shot on the T-29, but I'm still just trying to close the distance as fast as possible. I can see, I think there's some tanks that's unspotted, so just trying to get into here where they might be. And, unfortunately, the T-95 is going towards our cap, which is just spreading everything out, and I don't want anything to be spread out. This guy, I don't want to actually take damage from him yet, because I want a little bit of trading opportunity at the end. I don't want to use my trading opportunity a little too early when I don't need to. So keeping my hit points there. Driving towards the next hit points is the TS5. And actually, I got tricked again here. So, like, on the minimap, I saw that he was going backwards, like, that way. So I'm like, oh, he's driving that way. So I didn't check, and he was actually just backing up. So I ended up getting shot by him. And now this game is kind of unfortunate, because we can see T-95 is on cap. That guy's dead. So I just started driving towards our cap. I think I end up getting amazing RNG. Yeah, I get easy RNG on the lower plate there. So 7 kills, 6 aces. So good game on Minsk. Just playing aggressive and going fast to the damage, basically. Oh, yeah. Alright, so, this is a little bit of an interesting game to show. I remember this one. So, if we see the matchmaking, it's, you know, top tier, no arty. So I try and make kind of a play that I don't think I've ever initially done this before, but I thought I would try it. So, I mean, if there's no arty, I can play out wide here in this low ground and kind of be hull down here, and I thought that maybe I would just end up farming heavies. So it's a bit of an experiment for me, but I think it kind of worked out. I didn't end up playing this perfectly, but you'll kind of see the idea of playing in this position. And I mean, I think this is kind of good also because, you know, if playing a tank like this, right, there's no gun depression, really. So I don't want to play on the steep parts as much. So something that's a little bit shallower like this is a good position for me to play. So again, just trying to look at all the angles, trying to find the shots where I can get them. And these guys are playing a little bit safe to me, so it's not like constant farm, but it's pretty nice, consistent shots that are available to me. Now, the only problem this game for me was this Yag Tiger, because I kind of underestimated him, and I had to aim that shot for a long time, which let the Yag Tiger, he had a shot on me there, so a little bit unfortunate, but now I kind of learned my lesson that this Yag Tiger is actually, you know, kind of paying attention. But I want to try and farm him. It's a little bit awkward. I still have to look at all these angles, and luckily I get a pen in there. But I mean, this position so far, it's working out okay, just because I have consistent damage. But unfortunately, there's like the heavies aren't really feeding me, and this Yag Tiger is playing pretty safe. And now that he's pre-aiming me, I don't really want to poke into a pre-aim. I think I do though, because I think I try it and then he just pens my So I probably shouldn't have done that. Yag Tiger is just, I mean, pretty high pen, so I could have, you know, expected that to happen, but it is what it is. So now we have low HP. We're still in a good position, so the game is, you know, not a disaster. And you can see a lot of these games, I go down to low HP, but it's still perfectly salvageable, even if you're a one-shot. Like that Pearl River game we just watched, right? I have 30 HP and I'm doing like 3k damage with it, so you have to, you know, play with however much HP you have. Now I can see this guy's kind of YOLOing, so I mean that's nice. I'm happy he's doing that. That's free damage. But now I can see that the game is over, in my opinion. 6-1. We won the beach of all things, so I go and check if he's still there. He's still there, but it looks like I can have a slight angle without him having an angle back, so I take that superstructure pen, and I'm just trying to work it, giving him a really bad shot, and I'm trying to now go fast, because I can see the game's going to be over. I'm trying to get rid of him. I still can't quite push him, so I have to kind of figure out how to finesse this. Yeah, so it ends up, I'm just going to go back and then maybe try and farm the A and get above him, because I'm not really too concerned of tank destroyers, because I can see they're all being distracted by the beach. So if this guy gives me an opportunity to come above him, I'll take it, but I can see that he's going to react and come at me, so I can't fight him like that. Luckily, that guy just gives me a free shot, so I have to run away from this guy now. So the A phase 1 Yag Tiger, a little bit too difficult for me to take care of, so I'm going to flex and go to where the other damage is, which is towards this Ferdinand and the Skoda possibly. So I can see that guy has some damage, but he's going to die. Unfortunately, I can't quite get the angle. So a little bit hard to close the distance on these guys now. I think I'm just going to go and scan for a shot in the mid, just trying to close in from wherever I can, wherever I see the opportunity. And this guy's giving me some shots. I feel like I get a little bit unlucky here. Like those, I think that just went like in between his turret and his hull, so it's a little annoying. But I can see the AE phase 1 is a much better opportunity than going for the Skoda, because now that he's distracted, I'll be able to fight him. This is that's a little lucky. I could have ended badly. This guy's giving me turret shots. Spot that guy, so more free damage. And now we can rush to the A phase 1. Now that he's isolated, I'm not really worried about anything else. And I have a decision to make here. Either I can dive on the 53, and I think I was going to do that, and then he dies, so we hesitate and go back. And now I just want to close the distance on this guy and try and do as many shots as I can. And hopefully the 704 doesn't get a shot in, and we can get a little bit more damage. So, yeah, not a bad game. I think that play is pretty good. Coming here, if there's no RD and your tank can play there. So, I think I'll keep doing that play. If I'm in a no RD game. But if there's RD, obviously you have to camp and stay safe from RD. Okay, so Pilsen, again, good matchmaking. So I'm getting really lucky with this matchmaking, but anyway. We want to try and go aggressive here again, and Pilsen is this kind of map where the damage on the 8-9 line is just slow, and it's not something that you can really create for yourself. It's hard to get fed there, basically. So I'm hoping that I can make an opportunity on the 2-3 line, as I'm like one of the stronger tanks in this game, so I want to try and make it happen. This game, if I remember, it's kind of ends up being sort of messed up and unfortunate the way it played out, but we end up fighting against the hardest tanks for me to deal with. Miss this guy's cupola. This guy peeks on me. I get bad RNG, misses upper plate. I can see this guy's gonna cross just from the way he's driving, so I wait for the next shot on this guy. Luckily someone tracks him so we can get another shot in. I go for the track, but it's just a heat, so it's not gonna really hit, and it probably would have bounced if it hit the track anyway. Like, you can track people by hitting, like, the little wheels on the side of their tank, but it's not perfect. This guy pens me. I go and look here to see where he penned me, and I'm pretty sure he just went straight through my gun. So that's pretty annoying. And that guy, unfortunately, I was not one to get that kill. But I can see it's going to be a little bit hard to close, because all of their tier 9 heavy tanks came here, which, I mean, I guess I could have expected that. So it is kind of hard for me to play aggressive against the only tanks that can stop me. So maybe I should have gone to their side, but I don't know. It's just, this is where the damage is. The other side is just kind of hit or miss. And I'm still watching this guy because the CS could poke, but I can see this is just a waste of time. And situations like this are really annoying, because either I be really patient here and hope my team starts losing, or I have to make something happen myself. And usually I try and make something happen myself. Sometimes it's a mistake though. And in this game, it's kind of probably a bit of a mistake. So I'm going to come here and side scrape to see if anyone's peeking that angle. I move my spotting checkpoint a little bit to the right to check, and I can see nothing's here. So I think this is the point where, because nothing's holding that angle, I know I'm safe to move up. But once I move up, I'm committed, and this is what turns out, not the committing part turns out not being safe. Somehow, this guy appears out of nowhere, which is a little bit annoying, and this guy is, one of the only tanks that can shut me down, and I kind of underestimated his reload time there, so he kind of owns me. So a little bit unfortunate here, because, 1, there's more than I expected, and now 2, I'm trapped. And I took damage getting there because there was more than I expected. So yeah, now it's a little bit of a bad situation. And you can see I'm trying to get a shot on that guy's cupola, but there's a broken invisible texture preventing that, so I have to overpeak and shoot on the other guy's cupola. And then I didn't really know how to pet him. But I'm looking for the cupola shot, and it's broken texture at some points, and then it just gets a crit, no damage, so pretty unfortunate. So I have to go for the more difficult shots, and that was just me trying to get safe. I wasn't gonna overpeak that. and then I'm trying to, you know, get a damage of the Karn, but the Karn's like poking pretty well and playing safe as well. And the Mouse Chen was really frustrating because he turned out to be like a really, really bad player, so he just threw his whole tank away and allowed them to kill us. I mean, you'll see that here in a sec. Like, I'm totally committed here, and I can see it's not going well, so I'm just kind of... I'm a little frustrated, but, you know, trying to do the best that I can. That's a bit of a lucky pen on the lower plate. The Mouse Gen is just letting himself die to everything, turning his turret to the Karn, letting this Karn farm him, letting these guys poke on him, and I'm trying to stay safe, but this Mouse is like blocking every single angle. I finally find a shot onto the Karn, but the STI is gonna YOLO me, so I'm like, well, here we go. I just have to fight to the death here, and I try and go for a side hug or just like making the shot as difficult as possible for the STI, and yeah, I'm gonna go like right up against him. The Mouse is blocking me from moving, and now the Mouse died as well as this guy, so I'm stuck. I'm trying to wiggle out of this, but I'm kind of trapped. I pre-aim on this guy. I think I just die here because I can't get out. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to play really aggressive here, but I just got shut down by all of like their strongest tanks. My team was completely hopeless, and I probably should have just been more patient and waited. But at the same time, if I waited, maybe I just don't get any damage. So it's pretty hard to say. I could maybe have played the other side, but you never know. I feel like it's still the right play just to come to this side of the map. But I probably should have just been a little bit more patient. But I think it was kind of unfortunate that this, like, I got YOLO'd by an STI, a Karn out of nowhere shut me down, and then the Mouse Gen was like terrible at surviving. But yeah, it is what it is. And I think that's actually the last game of this session. It's probably been a really long video, but I think it's kind of okay. It kind of reminds me of how Anfield, back when he actually played Watt, like made the 3 mark session videos, which I liked, and I don't really think there's any other content really like that on YouTube that I've noticed, at least recently. So maybe I can kind of fill a void and have a similar kind of style to that, where it's a long video of a bunch of games with some commentary. So if you enjoyed, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, which I might start doing more of. But I mostly stream on Twitch, although I don't even do that much anymore. I don't know. Or you could join my Discord, and those links will be in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.